Hey everybody, what you're about to hear are some pretty cool stories from a friend of mine. His name is Ryan. He lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and I had a chance to interview him while I was visiting Phoenix, and he's got some pretty wild things that he has seen God do in his life. So I just wanted to record his stories and share them with you guys, and hopefully they bless you. And here we go.
Two other people from the upper room, and we went to the AZ State Fair. And I think on that day, 100% of every single person that we prayed for got healed. I'd say at least 30 people within within 2 or 3 hours. And we went out to pray for people. It was inevitable that revival would break out. Prayed the first guy we saw, we prayed for his back. His back got healed. Then, we had him pray for his wife's back. Her back got healed. And then they had 2 kids that had back problems. They both got healed. So that was 5, within the first couple of minutes. And then, as we walked around that day in the fair, it was literally one after the other, 100% that day. Every single person that we prayed for, I'd never seen anything like that. And then after that finished, we got, the fair ended. We ended up going to downtown Phoenix, and in that same night, I think we had more than 3 different prayer circles to where we went out to the bars and the clubs in downtown Phoenix. So it was maybe 9 o'clock, from 9 to 11 p.m. for 2 hours. We saw all those healings. And then from 11 p.m. to about 2 or 3 in the morning, I think it was 2 in the morning, we went downtown, just because the anointing was still, just fire was flowing, and we were God's presence is still here, let's freaking go. And so we go downtown and we're yes, let's go, we just wanted more. It wasn't enough, the fair was amazing, and God touched all these people, but we got back in the car and everyone was burning. We're sitting in this dude's car and we're all burning. And we're I don't think we can go home yet. And so we ended up going downtown to the bars. And this was near Halloween time. And so tons of people were out there partying. And, out there, we ended up praying with, outside of bars with bar owners, in prayer circles of over 10 people, where people would just start joining in, and we were praying in the middle of the street, in front of everyone. At first, it was just a lot of healings, and then later on, people started to come to Christ. So it wasn't just, the healings did lead somewhere. So for a season, we just saw a bunch of people healed and touched and loved by God, but we didn't see people accept Christ. And it hit a point where, where we started praying for souls, and we were God, there's more than this, there's more than just people getting healed and the gifts of the Spirit flowing. That's all amazing, but we want to see people come into the family of the kingdom. And so one night, a bunch of us went to ASU and we did a treasure hunt. And one of our teams was praying, and they got led to a place at ASU on campus, an underground place, and there's one dude that's underground. And this guy was on his laptop. He had just read a testimony off of Facebook randomly about how a prostitute got saved and delivered by the power of God. One of our teams, that got led down there to that basement, met this dude, and they shared the gospel with him. He's the only guy down there. It wouldn't have been a place anyone would have gone. And he's weird, I just read a testimony. And so he ends up coming to Christ. And then he ends up going with that team the whole day and witnessing all of the things that God did through them, and seeing the healings and the things of God. And so not just were people starting to get saved and then he came to church, that next week, but it was more. It was people were getting saved, healed, but then also hey, discipleship. They started coming to church. And so it was so much more than, just like seeing the power of God, but people got saved. People came into the kingdom. And on that same day, there was also, 2 other recommitments to Christ on that same day. And, subsequently, since after that, more and more people have started, to come into the kingdom because, at first we were just praying for healings, but then we were like, oh no, we need to share the gospel too. We need to share the love of God, because once they're healed, then their hearts are open. And we believe that true love also speaks the truth, and also shares the gospel, and not in a condemning way, but in love, because they can get healed in their physical body, but their soul can still be going to hell. And so we were okay, it's not enough just to heal them and leave. That's not true love. That means we don't really care about the person and their soul and where they're going. So we really started making it a point hey, let's really love them, and let's also share the gospel and share Jesus and share our testimonies, and people started coming into the kingdom. It's been incredible. I've never experienced anything like it, and it was never anything I would have expected to happen, but it's just been God's showing up. I know that there's revival in this city. There's something that God's doing in this region, and it's not just to say that. Many people are sensing that there's a grace over Phoenix, over Arizona, to be a catalyst for revival. And so there's something here, and if you ever come and get to just come to Phoenix, you'll sense something in the atmosphere, that God's doing something really great here, and He's just stirring people up, for revival, for awakening, for reformation. And so it's just a really great thing.